Welcome you all for the online class on Control Systems Engineering. In this semester, I am going to teach you the subject Control System Engineering. The code is EC8391. Myself, Yemi Prema. So this is the syllabus for the Control Systems Engineering. So in Control System Engineering subject, in the first unit, we are going to see what do you mean by control system, what are the basic components of control system, then how to model a control system. Then in the second unit, we are going to see the various time response analysis of the control system and also the different types of controllers used in the control system. Then in third unit, we are going to see the frequency response analysis through a number of frequency response plots. Okay, and also we are going to see the design of compensators. Then in fourth unit, we will see about the stability analysis of the control system by using some stability analysis techniques. Then in fifth unit, we are going to see the analysis of control system using digital computer, that is a digital control system. So the first topic in this first unit will be system components and their representations. Before entering into this unit 1, we are going to see what do you mean by control system. First of all, what do you mean by system? When a number of components are connected in a specified manner to perform a specific function, the group formed is called a system. Okay, a system is made up of a number of components which performs a specific function, and it is also having an input signal and also the output signal. Then what do you mean by control system? So control system means it's a system whose output quantity will be controlled by varying the input quantity. See, this is the representation of control system. It is having an input quantity and also the output quantity. The output quantity can be varied by varying the input quantity. Okay, the another name for this input quantity will be command signal or the manipulated input. Okay, you have to remember all these terms. Then output quantity is also known as controlled variable. So in a control system, we can vary the output quantity by varying the input quantity. Okay, now you can say some examples for this control system. So in day-to-day life, we come across many electronic devices as well as mechanical machines. All these comes under this control system. For example, if you are considering an automobile, that is car or any vehicle, we can say the speed of the car as an output. Okay, so this speed can be varied by varying the position of the accelerator. Okay, we can vary the speed of the car by applying a force on the accelerator pedal, or we can say the position of the accelerator. So this automobile is an example for the control system where the output will be the speed and the input will be the pressure or the force which is applied on the accelerator pedal, or we can say it as a position of the accelerator. Similarly, if you are considering an electric fan, so here the output from the system will be a speed, and this output can be varied by varying the position of the regulator. That is, by applying the twisting force on the regulator, we can vary the speed of the fan. Okay, so this is also another one type of control system. So the next example is a level control system. So in big manufacturing industries, they are using a number of level tanks, that is water tank or chemical tank or acid tank or oil tank, etc. Okay, all these are the examples for control system. So in this level control system, we can vary the tank level by varying the inlet valve position. This manual valve is nothing but inlet valve. So this is nothing but a control system because it is made up of a number of components, that is inlet valve, then supply pipe, tank, then exit pipe, etc. And here the output we are getting from the level control system will be an tank level, and The tank level will be varied by varying the position of the inlet valve. Okay, so this is also an example for the control system. Okay, so if the here inlet through the inlet valve, that is through the inlet pipe, there will be an inflow. Through the exit pipe, there will be a constant outflow. Okay, so to vary the tank level, what we have to do, either we have to open the valve or close the valve. If you are fully open the valve, then the tank level will be automatically increased. If you are somewhat closing the valve, automatically there will be an reduction in the tank level. Okay. Similarly, by keeping the inlet flow as constant, that is inlet valve position to a constant value, by using a valve at the exit pipe also, we can vary the level of the tank. Okay. In this case, if the exit valve is fully opened condition, then the tank level will be automatically reduced. If it is somewhat closed, it will be automatically increased because of the inlet flow. Okay, in this way, we can say the level control system as an example for this control system. Okay, now we are going to see the terminology as well as basic structure of this control system. So depending upon the type of the control system, the number of components used in the control system will vary. Okay, the basic components used in this control system are plant, controller. Along with that, there will be an input reference or reference input signal, manipulated input signal, controlled output signal, as well as disturbance signal. Okay, I am going to explain each and every component with the help of this level control system example. Okay, so now the plant is nothing but the part of the control system in which actual controlling operations taking place. That is nothing but plant. So here we can say the level tank in which actual controlling operations taking place. Okay, then the controller. So controller is also a part of the control system which controls the plant. Okay, so the output of the controller will be the manipulated input signal that will be directly applied on the plant. In this example, the controller is nothing but the inlet valve or the manual valve, and the manipulated input in this example is the position of the inlet valve. Okay, that is nothing but manipulated input. Then the input reference or the reference input signal. This reference input is different from the actual input of the control system. Okay, so in the last slide we have seen a control system is having an input as well as output, isn't it? That input is nothing but this manipulated input which directly acts on the plant. Okay, so this reference input is different from this manipulated input. Okay, so this reference input is nothing but the actual output we expect from the control system, that is called the reference input signal. For example, in this level control system, if you want to maintain the level as 100 meter height, then we can say the reference input as 100 meter height. Okay, so this is the reference input signal, actual output we are expecting from the control system. Then the controlled variable, that is nothing but output variable, which is the actual output which is measured from the control system. So here the actual output will be, for example, if you want to maintain the tank level as 100 meter, due to the disturbances, it may decrease to 99 meter. So the level we are observing from the system will be 99 meter. That will be the controlled variable. Okay, so the reference input will be an actual output we are expecting from the system, and the controlled variable will be the current output of this system. Okay, what output we are getting from the system, that is nothing but controlled variable. Then the last one is nothing but the disturbance signal. So disturbance signal is a signal which affects the output variable or which vary the output variable. So the disturbance can be either internal disturbance or external disturbance. If the disturbance is generated within the system, then it is called internal disturbance. If the disturbance is generated outside the system, then it is called external disturbance. Okay. So in this example, the internal disturbance will be the leakaging of the valve or the pipe, or the leakaging of the tank, leakaging of the exit pipe, etc. Okay, all these are internal disturbances, because all these leakages will tend to reduce the tank level, that is the output variable. Okay, so this is the type of internal disturbance. Similarly, the example for the external disturbance is, that is, this tank is placed in the environment, isn't it? Now, due to the surrounding temperature change, there will be a decrease in the tank level. Okay, so the surrounding temperature will also affect the tank level or the output variable. So these type of disturbance is nothing but external disturbances. Okay, so this is the explanation for the different components of the control system. Next, we are going to see the types of control system. So in control system, we have two types: feed forward control system, that is nothing but open loop control system, and feedback control system, that is called the closed loop control system. Now we are going to see about feed forward control system, that is open loop control system. In open loop control system, this is the block diagram where we are giving the input signal and we are getting the output signal. Okay, here there will not be any closed path. So we can say this open loop control system as a physical system which does not automatically corrects the variation in the output quantity. Okay, that is, due to the disturbances, if there is any variation in the output quantity, that will not be corrected automatically by the system. Okay, just we are giving the input signal and we are taking the output signal. So the best example for this open loop control system will be a level control system, as I explained already. That is, here we are changing the position of the inlet valve and we are measuring the output water level. Okay, just we are giving the input signal and we are measuring the output signal. This is an example for open loop control system. And now the advantages of the open loop control system. This open loop control system will be simple as well as economical, because it uses less number of components. So we can say it as a simple, as well as it is easier to construct. Okay, we can easily construct this open loop control system. And this open loop control systems are stable. That is, if you are seeing the time response of the open loop system, see this diagram. So this is the response for this level control system. Okay, in y-axis we are considering the tank level, x-axis represents the time. Okay, initially we are maintaining the tank level as 100 meter. So initially it will be 100 meter at time t equal to 0. Now after some 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, etc., automatically the tank level will be reduced due to either internal disturbance or external disturbance. But the wrong value will be maintained throughout, because the system itself will not correct the error automatically. Okay, that wrong level will be maintained, but the response will be almost stable. Stable means there will not be any up and downs in this response. Okay, now the drawbacks. So we can say the advantages is stable, and then the drawback, that is disadvantage. This open loop control system will be inaccurate, because we set the tank level as 100 meter. After some few years, it will automatically reduce to 90 meter or 85 meter, etc. Okay, the system is not capable of correcting it. So it's an inaccurate control system, as well as it is unreliable. That is, we cannot believe this type of control system. Okay, any type of disturbances can affect this control system. Okay, as well as changes in the disturbance cannot be corrected automatically. Okay, so this is about the open loop control system. Another one example for this open loop control system is temperature control system. We have seen the level control system. Now we are going to see about the temperature control system. In this temperature control system, we have an electric furnace. In the furnace, we have a heating element. The heating element is connected to the supply through this relay control circuit. Relay control circuit is nothing but switch. The switch can be either in the on condition condition or in the off condition. When it is in the on condition, the supply will be directly given to the heating element, and the heating element gets heated and the temperature inside the electric furnace increases. So this increase in temperature will be measured by using an sensor. So this is nothing but a temperature sensor which is capable of sensing the temperature inside the tank, and it will give an output as an analog output that will be converted into digital. Then it will be displayed on the digital display. Okay, so here this is the example for open loop control system, because just we are giving the supply or the input, and just we are measuring the output. Okay, and the loop is also open, there will not be any closed path. So this is an example for open loop control system. In this system, the system will be a temperature control system. Input quantity, what is input quantity? AC supply that is given to the furnace, okay, which is applied through the switch. Then output quantity will be the temperature of the furnace. Okay, we are measuring the output from the system as a temperature. Next, we are going to see about the closed loop control system, that is nothing but the feedback control system. So this is the diagram for the feedback control system. So here the loop is closed. Okay, so we can say it as a feedback control system. In feedback control system, the system will automatically correct the variations in the output signal. Okay, we can make the open loop control system into closed loop by using some additional components. So here consider the planned. So this is nothing but the open loop control system with the manipulated input as well as output. Okay, by using an additional component, that is feedback element, then error detector as well as controller, this open loop control system is made closed. Okay, so here what happens is this plant is nothing but the tank in level control system. Okay, from the tank we are measuring the level, then it will be transmitted through the feedback element to the error detector. Error detector will compare the actual measured tank level with the set point or the reference input signal. What do you mean by reference input signal? What output we are expecting from the tank, that is nothing but reference input signal. So this measured tank level as well as reference level will be compared here at the error detector. Then the error signal will be generated and it will be processed by the controller, and the controller will adjust the plant accordingly. Okay, this process will be repeated till this output from the control system is equal to the set point or the reference input signal or what we are expecting from the control system. Okay, now I am going to explain this closed loop control system with the help of this level control tank. Okay, so this is also a level control system, but it is closed loop. Okay, in the previous open loop level control system, we have seen to vary the tank level, we had varied the inlet valve position. But here to vary the tank level, we are varying the outlet valve position. Okay, inlet flow rate will be constant. That is, inlet valve position will be constant. So here the tank level will be measured by using a level sensor. Then it will be given to an level controller through the level transmitter. Then the level controller will also receive the set point, that is reference input signal. The difference between these two will be calculated and it is given to an outlet valve position. Okay, for example, if you want to maintain the tank level as 100 meter height, then what we have to do is we have to give this 100 meter height to this level controller. That's a reference input signal or the set point. Okay, now initially we can maintain the tank level as 100 meter. Okay, so if this 100 meter height is 100 meter water level is sensed by the level sensor and it is given to the level controller. Level controller will also receive the set point, that is reference input signal as 100 meter. Difference between these two will be 0. There is no error signal and there will not be any adjustment in the outlet valve. That is, the tank level is maintained as 100 meter, that is equal to the reference value. Okay, suppose due to the disturbances, if there is any decrease in the temperature or the increase in the temperature, for example, if the tank level is reduced to 99 meter height, what happens? Immediately the level sensor will measure this 99 meter height and that will be given to an level controller through this level transmitter. This set point will be an 100 meter height, isn't it? So the difference between these two will be 100 minus 99, that is 1 meter. This will be processed by the level controller. Then it is given to an outlet valve position. So the outlet valve will be somewhat closed to increase the level from 99 meter to 100 meter. It is somewhat closed. Okay, so now due to this action, the tank level will not be exactly equal to 100 meter. It is somewhat increased to 100.5 meter. Okay, so this 100.5 meter will also be sensed by this level sensor, and it is given to a level controller through the level transmitter. The set point is always 100 meter height because we need 100 meter height for this level tank. Now the difference will be 100 minus 105, that is minus 0.5. So the error signal will be minus 0.5. So this will be processed by the level controller, and it is given to an outlet valve position. Because of the negative sign, the valve will be rotated in the opposite direction. Initially it is closed, isn't it? Now it is somewhat opened. So the tank level will be slightly reduced, but not exactly equal to 100, but it will be reduced to 99.75. Okay, so in this way, there will be a small ups and downs in this tank level. Okay. So finally, anyway, it will reach the value of 100 meter height. Once it reaches 100 meter height, what happens? This 100 meter will be sensed by this level sensor, and it is given to a level controller. Again, the set point is 100 meter. The difference will be 0, 100 minus 100. So the error signal is 0. There will not be any adjustment in the outlet valve position. Okay. So in this way, we can maintain the tank level as constant. Okay. What level we are going to maintain, that should be given to an level controller as a set point or the reference input signal. Okay. So now this is the time response for this level control system. That is, y-axis represents tank level. Initially we are giving the 100 meter height. Now due to the disturbances, there will be a change in the tank level. If we are adjusting this, if the tank outlet valve position is adjusted, correspondingly there will be an increase in tank level, decrease in tank level, then increase, decrease, etc. There will be a small ups and downs, as I told already. Okay, finally it will reach the constant 100 meter height. That is nothing but set point. So this 100 meter is nothing but set point or the reference input signal. Okay. So this will be the response. So from this we can say there will be an oscillations in the output, small oscillations. Anyway, finally it will reach the correct value. Okay. Now the advantages of this feedback control system or closed loop control system. So when we are considering a closed loop control system, it will be accurate. That is, even though there is a reduction or the increase in the tank level, the system itself automatically corrects that output signal. Okay, and it will reach the accurate value, and it is less affected by noise compared to the open loop control system. This closed loop control system will be less affected by noise. Suppose if it is affected, then the system itself correct that error value. Okay, then the disadvantages of a closed loop control system, it will be complex as well as costly because it uses more components compared to open loop control system. So it will be costly. Then it lead to oscillatory output, as I told already, due to the ups and downs in the response, that is output of the tank. Then there will be an oscillatory output. Anyway, finally it will reach the stable output signal. Okay. Another one drawback here is the feedback reduces the overall gain of the system. In the next lectures, we are going to see about the gain of this control system. The overall gain of the system gets reduced because of the feedback connection. Okay, so this is about the feedback control system or closed loop control system. Okay, again we are going to see about the closed loop temperature control system. We have seen the open loop temperature control system. Similarly, we have a closed loop temperature control system. So already we have seen the open loop temperature control system. Just we are giving an input signal from the AC supply to the heating element, and the electric furnace gets heated, and then this heat will be measured by means of a sensor. Then it will be converted into digital, and here we had a digital display. In open loop control system, there we can see that temperature value. Okay, but here that digital value is again given to an controller. A controller can also be a digital computer. Okay, it will process the data only in the digital form, so it will be converted into digital, and then it will be given to an controller. This controller also receive a reference input signal. So this is a set point or the reference input. So these difference between these two will be the error signal. So this signal will be an error signal. This error signal will be again an digital signal from the computer, okay, or the controller. Now this digital will be converted into analog and then it will be processed. That is amplified and then it will be given to an switch. This relay control circuit is nothing but switch, isn't it? It will be either in the on condition or in the off condition. Okay. So now if you want to maintain the temperature inside the electric furnace as 1000 degrees Celsius, what we have to do? We have to give this 1000 degrees Celsius as the reference input signal to the controller here. Okay. Now, at each and every time, the sensor will measure what is the actual temperature or the current temperature which is present inside this electric furnace. Okay, that will be sensed. For example, suppose if the temperature inside the furnace is reduced to 950 degrees Celsius due to the disturbances, this 950 will be measured by the sensor and it will be converted into digital. Then it will be given to a controller. This 950 as well as this 1000 degrees Celsius will be compared at the controller. 1000 minus 950, that will be equal to an 50 degree. For this 50 degree signal, that represents the error signal, and this will be converted into analog. Then it will be processed and it is given to an relay control circuit. Because of this error signal, the switch will be in the on condition. Okay, when the switch is on, what happens? AC supply will be directly connected to the heating element and the heating element gets heated. The temperature inside the furnace gets increased. Okay, so now again there will be an increase in temperature. Suppose if the temperature reaches 1000 degrees Celsius, the sensor will measure the temperature as 1000 and this 1000 will be given to a controller and this will also receive the reference input as 1000 degrees Celsius and the difference between these two will be 0. When the error signal is 0, it will be processed and it is given to the relay control circuit, that is switch, that the switch will be in the off condition because the error signal will be 0. So in this case what happens, the heating element will not supply a heat to the electric furnace because AC supply is disconnected from this heating element. Okay, so that 100,000 degrees Celsius will be maintained inside this electric furnace. Okay, so after some a few years, again due to the diffusion of temperature through the walls of the electric furnace, there will be a decrease in the temperature inside the furnace. Okay, this decrease in temperature is again sensed by the sensor and it will be compared with the reference input signal at the controller and so on. This process will be repeated. In this way, we can maintain the temperature inside the electric furnace as a constant value. Due to the disturbances, if there is any change in the temperature, the system itself automatically detect it and correct that value. Okay, so this is another one example for the closed loop control system, that is nothing but closed loop temperature control system. Okay, the next is the difference between open loop as well as closed loop control system. So this is one important 2-mark question. Okay, so all these points I explained already. In open loop control system, it will be simple as well as economical because it uses minimum number of components. Okay, this closed loop control system uses more number of components, so it is costly as well as complex. Then the open loop control system will be stable because there will not be any ups and downs. The change in the output variable will not be corrected. It will be made as such. Okay, so the output will be almost stable. Then the closed loop control system, it will lead to an oscillatory response. That is, there will be, and due to the disturbances, if the output variable is affected or if the tank level is affected, there will be an increase as well as decrease in the tank level during the adjustment. Okay, so this will lead to oscillatory response. Then the open loop control system will be inaccurate as well as unreliable. That is, we cannot believe this open loop control system because it will be inaccurate due to the disturbances. If it is affected, then it will be keep that as such. Okay, it will not correct that output value, so it is inaccurate as well as unreliable. But if you are considering a closed loop control system, if there is any slight variations in the output variable, the system itself will sense that and it will automatically correct that output value. Okay, now the open loop control system will be easily affected by external disturbances and it will not automatically correct it. Okay, but the closed loop control system is less affected by noise. Okay, thank you.